Spirit, we will continue the transmission in the following way. Allow us to briefly recap. You'll have your 15-minute time span, which is the time in which, generally speaking, the neurological pathways go from plasticity to hardwiring themselves with a new idea. And with every single thought, with every single feeling, with every single definition, you change the wiring of your brain. And now, with the understanding and the introduction of this specific structure of belief, embedded through the holotropic experience into the center of your receiver antenna brain, you now can have the opportunity to always allow there to be a doorway to the light, even in the darkest of hours, even in the most negative of beliefs. There will always be that tug and that pull to remind you that there is always a light at the end of that tunnel, and to urge you to walk toward it. And to know that every moment is a new reality, a new you, utterly and totally defined by whatever definition you choose to buy into most strongly at that moment. And we remind you of your mechanisms of manifestation, making the invisible visible that is already here, and motivation, discovering what beliefs you have attached to the ideas of pleasure and pain. That these things are not things you have to learn, just things you have to clarify and use as tools. With your permission slips, you are now more capable, because you are new people, more capable than those people that were here a moment ago. More different, more clearly aligned, more clearly defined with the higher mind in concert with the physical mind than the people that were here before. Those people are in another reality. It still exists, but they are not you and you are not them. You are now who you define yourselves to be. Feel the difference in greater ways every day, and you will see and experience the immediateness of the shift from reality to reality by simply creating greater difference between them. Because there is already a total change with every change. And now, in keeping with the idea of the manifestation mechanism we described, by focusing and concentrating your intention as you did in the holotropic experience, bringing your passion, your vibration of highest resonance into it, we now transfer to the other side of letting go, opening up, surrendering, not thinking about it, changing the subject, going in a new direction, lightening up, not worrying about it at all, letting the higher mind take care of it for you, letting the higher mind involve itself with the how your passion will manifest, of the how the synchronicity will present itself to you. This already works. You don't have to make it work. It's the nature of the structure of existence and creation itself. Let it work. Allow it to work. Relax. Let go. Be at peace. To begin changing the subject, lightening things up, we will, first and foremost, before we engage in questions, tell a story. So relax. Get comfy, as you say. If you wish, put on your ethereal pajamas. Have some astral cocoa. All right. and sit before your crackling etheric fire. Relax. Once upon a time, on my world, when I was first training to become a contact specialist, my father and my mother brought me before a group of very experienced contact specialists, 10 in all. They related to me, each and every one in his or her turn, their stories of their first contacts with other civilizations and what they learned from the experience, what they gained, how they grew, how differently they perceived the idea of creation by having experienced another facet of creation through the auspices of a completely different civilization, and how that reflected upon us and how we could look at ourselves in different ways. Throughout the course of a day, they related their stories to me and also to my counterpart, who many of you know as Anima. And as together she and I sat and listened and absorbed and imagined and visualized the scenarios that they were painting in our minds, bit by bit we realized they were also not only just telling stories, but handing over their experience energetically, allowing us to literally live emotionally, vibrationally, mentally, through those experiences, allowing us literally to taste, hear, see, touch, feel every sensation that they had experienced in those first contacts with other civilizations, priming us for the new civilizations we would encounter, such as your own. So that by the time it came time to encounter you, we would have a wealth of experience and knowledge to draw upon, to aid and assist you, and also to allow our interaction with you to aid and assist us in seeing ourselves relative to all the other civilizations, all the other facets of the multidimensional crystal of all that is, and giving us a deeper appreciation of our connection, of our relationship as family within creation, as parts of the all that is, as parts of the one, as expressions and reflections of each other. And at the end of that day, after we had absorbed those experiences in that way, we were then allowed to be by ourselves momentarily, alone. They all left, bid us, as you say, farewell, went on their way. Anima and I were simply by ourselves in what you would call a very natural setting of trees, of grass. And as we allowed ourselves to simply remain there quietly, absorbing all that we had learned, we began to realize that the stories were not over. For as we sat there, in that resonance, in that vibration, suddenly we received stories from the rocks and the trees and the animals and the sky and the water and the air. And everything our world had to offer in its consciousness, in supporting us as the mother of us, we received from her that day, to let us know that as we ventured out among the stars, we would always carry a piece of our own home world in our hearts. We would never be disconnected from her. And that as we make contact with other worlds, other beautiful gems in space such as yours, not only is it our personage that we present to you, but the entirety of the consciousness of our world, not just the people, but the planet and everything upon it, and everything within it, and everything that it is. So that our worlds are also communing vibrationally as we speak to you as people, our respective planets are also speaking to each other through the timeless void of space and time. This communication is taking place on many levels, all at once, all now, and that is what we learned that day. So be it. Kenneth.
Yes.
Would you like to share your questions now?
Yes. Hello, Bashar.
And do you good day?
I was really glad that the guy this morning called you B.
Yes.
I like nicknames. They save so much time.
Yes.
Of course, you know, these days we recognize that as a dual-layer joke. The first layer being, of course, on the human level, where nicknames really don't save that much time. And on the metaphysical layer, we know that there is no such thing as time.
Yes.
So there's nothing to save anyway.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, I have a metaphysical joke for you.
Oh, all right.
And I would appreciate it if you would get your people tuned into this.
Always.
Okay. So, you ready for the joke?
Yes.
How many Sasani does it take to change a light bulb?
Let me check. All right, we give up. How many?
None. Everything changes, so the light bulb changes on its own.
Oh, thank you. Thank you also for participating in lightening up the energy so that it is easier for individuals to let go and surrender.
Thank you. I appreciate your acknowledging that. At a previous channeling session, I say previous in quotes since it's all happening now anyway.
Thank you.
You talked about the games that you guys play on your world.
Yes.
And so I have a question about games. You say that your people are on average about 5 of our feet tall.
Yes.
So does that mean your basketball hoops are proportionately lower?
If we had basketball, they would be.
Yes. And of course, that's why it's funny for us, because we all know you don't play basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, not entirely true. Any time we make contact with a new world, there are usually at least a few of us who make an attempt to emulate some of the things of that world, including some of your games.
Mm-hmm.
So there have actually been a few that have attempted what you call basketball, baseball, and so forth.
Uh-huh. I'm getting the picture that the balls might be balls of energy rather than physical balls.
Not always. Sometimes we really wish to, as you say, get down and dirty and play like the natives. So that we can gain a thorough appreciation of the physicality that you experience in your reality when playing the game.
And do you appreciate it the way we do, or at least appreciate it in your sense?
Yes.
Yeah, good. You realize, Bashar, that going by the single name Bashar puts you kind of in a unique category that includes Cher and Madonna.
Yes.
Prince, yeah. Just thought I'd make.
Thank you.
Anyway, now to my question. I have been reading a series of books called the I Am Discourses,
Yes.
which are basically discourses given by Earth Ascended Masters, primarily Saint Germain.
Yes.
And they use the term I Am Presence.
Yes.
And the concept that they refer to, I believe, is the same as the concept that you refer to when you say higher self. My question is, are these two terms truly synonymous, or are they talking about a level or a span of frequency that's different from the span of frequency that you refer to when you say higher self?
It is the combination frequency. When we talk about the idea of the partnership and the relationship in perfect balance between the physical mind and the higher mind together, that can be referred to more precisely vibrationally in the way they mean it as the I am presence.
Okay. So there's kind of an overlap there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The Ascended Masters are purported to have completely, I just about used the word conquered, but I really mean gained command over physical reality in all respects. They can materialize their bodies, as I understand it, dematerialize their bodies. And this would be a level of ability for humans that is quite extraordinary, that, as I understand it, is different from the level of reality or command over reality that you guys have. And I'm not trying to make a comparison for gendermental purposes, just so that we can see that as humans we can ascend to a level of truly complete command over our reality if that's what we choose.
Yes, and many individuals in my own society have that command.
Aha. Is there a particular reason why some do and some don't?
Yes. It depends on the path they have chosen, what it is they are teaching, what it is they have to reflect, and also to some degree the idea of what many individuals choose to do with remaining in certain levels that make it more conducive for them to interact with other beings of similar level.
Mm-hmm. So what is it that they are communicating by understanding and having this command of reality that someone who doesn't have that command is not communicating?
First of all, they are, as a vanguard in a sense, communicating to the entire society and constantly reflecting to them openly the potential that exists in all, so that we never forget that by having examples around us all the time.
Which is what our Ascended Masters do as well.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Bashar? There's that temperature again.
Yeah. That's the end of my questions. Bashar, get out of my way. I'm coming through.
Shivai.
Shivai to you.
Thank you, K.
You're welcome, B.
We may continue now to divert ourselves with dialogue and questions, so that we may relax and surrender and know that as we dialogue on various subjects and as we discourse in that way as friends, bit by bit, all the things that you experienced in this three-part transmission will be more and more deeply sinking in, even as you don't think about them at all.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I just want to thank you so much.
One moment. All right.
I wanted to thank you so much. I saw you probably a year and a half ago at the quantum physics workshop that you did, and my life has just been a series of miracles and synchronistic events, and it's been so much fun. And
well, thank you for creating your life to be that.
Thank you. At that workshop, you had mentioned that there was these ships in the sky. They were stars. They would look like stars. They were blue and red and white, and they would strobe. And you said that those were the motherships. And I was incredibly excited to spot them, and I did. I see them all the time, and I wanted to ask you if those, other people tell me, like, they're just stars. That's what stars do. They strobe like that. And
sometimes that is what they are. Okay. Sometimes, if you are able to pierce into other dimensional frequencies, you can see that there are other things there. It is simply a matter of having discernment to tell the difference.
Okay. A year ago at the Burning Man Festival,
yes.
I would say my highest excitement at that time was to make contact with a UFO. And I meditated on it for several months before I went to the festival. And when I got there, I saw stars flying in the sky. And so did several of my friends. And it was really exciting. And then one particular night, it seemed as if the planet Jupiter flew across the sky.
No.
And there were several of us who obviously it wasn't the planet Jupiter. It was something else. It looked like maybe it was parked in front of Jupiter, but definitely a very bright object that was pretending to be Jupiter that evening, flew very dramatically across the sky, and about 10 of my friends saw it, and it was incredibly exciting. And I don't know what to make of that.
What do you need to make of it?
I'm curious from your perspective what it was that we actually saw and how it manifested itself in that manner.
There will always be, in a sense, observations made and observations allowed to test the level of ability that you have as beings to pierce the veil into other dimensional frequencies and see things that otherwise you would not be capable of perceiving. So many of these are simply, in that sense, barometers to allow us to know and others to know what level of frequency you happen to be operating at in that particular scenario, so that we can, in that sense, gauge and understand what different scenarios allow you to do as permission slips to take yourself to different levels, and what, by taking yourself to those different levels, you are capable of perceiving.
Okay.
For we will know when you can see us, and we will know when you cannot.
Interesting.
And that will go into a large pool of understanding and knowledge about how ready your species and your planet is for further contact.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
So you can make that of it if you wish.
I shall. Thank you. Another question. I have a negative blood type, and I've wanted to ask you this for a while. I've read about it, and I've tried to understand where it comes from. And I'm curious, from your perspective, what if I incarnated into this body at this time, space, reality, with this particular blood type for a particular reason?
Of course.
You
always make these choices. There are always aspects of what you choose to experience as an incarnation that play into the theme that you chose to explore. Again, the question is, what do you make of it? What does it turn your mind to? What does it focus you on? When you create symbols for yourself in your reality, it is usually reflective of some aspect of the theme that you are exploring in this life. For example, the channel's blood type is B positive. Catch my drift?
Yes.
Does that help? Yes, no, maybe.
A little bit.
All
I was
right.
wondering if you could explain a little bit where it comes from, and
as we have recently said, humanity is a mix of a variety of genetic types, the idea being that some of it is extraterrestrial in origin. So in that you have these mixed up genetics, some of the issues of blood type are connected to that, and some of them are also representative of the indigenous stock of the hominid that evolved naturally on the planet. But at this point in time, as you call time, at this point in your evolution, at this point in your day and age, it all simply functions right now as a symbol, in the sense of whatever it is that it turns your mind to most strongly is usually a reflective indication of a theme that you are exploring, and that's the way to utilize it, in our opinion, at this time.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. And I have one last question. It's a little odd question.
Oh, an odd question as opposed to an even question. Yes, well,
Exactly.
It's question 3. I guess that makes it odd. All right.
Okay. I've been studying a lot of mythology,
Yeah.
and the stories are really fascinating. I can see how they're all related across, the Bible and Egypt and
Yes,
whatever.
yes, yes.
And there's a story of Samson,
Yeah.
and the strength was in his hair.
Yes.
And it got me wondering if we hold our wisdom in our hair, and
Not literally.
not literally, and what it is, why is there a thought form that manifests as no hair in men, and no offense to our channel, obviously.
I don't have any hair either.
I told you it was a strange question. But I was curious,
It's a case-by-case basis,
why men
and
in
it
our
will
culture
also depend upon when the symbol appears archetypally in your history in terms of what the symbols mean to that particular culture at that particular time. It isn't always across the board for every single era and every single epoch that the symbols mean the same things or are representative of the same things. In that context, the idea really was self-image. The strength was in how he saw himself. Hair being a representation to many people on your planet of their image. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, it was a lesson in the idea of regardless of what you are going through, it is the image you hold of yourself that will actually carry you through. And when the hair was cut, what that is a euphemism for is somebody, in a sense, offering him a reality where he chose to accept it as a diminishment of his self-image. But once he regained his self-image, once his hair grew back, he regained his strength. But it's an issue of self-image. You follow?
I do.
So, the idea now, in terms of not having hair, is the idea, in a sense, that image isn't so important anymore, that it is, in that sense, the idea of being, shall we say, naked to the world. Do you understand?
I do.
All right. Does that help?
It does. Is there a reason why in our culture right now that there's the gender difference in men and women? Why? I mean, why does that manifest in that way?
Well, you are still dealing, as many civilizations do, with various issues of polarity. And the idea will continue for quite a while in your civilization, even as it still to some degree continues in ours, even though we are becoming more homogeneous and becoming less physical. There is still the expression of the polarity to some degree, because there are still themes of polarity to explore on that level in your reality.
Okay. And when you say polarity, you mean hair and no hair? I'm confused.
I am speaking now of what you just said about the idea of male and female.
Right. But I'm saying, why is it that men in our culture tend to, it's usually not a pleasant thing when this happens to men in our culture, and I'm wondering why it manifests that way as a gender difference.
Vulnerability. The males require more vulnerability. You understand?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. All right. You're all so shy and withdrawn. Let us begin by reminding you that as it stands now, the probabilities of full disclosure and open contact are between now and your year of 2027. And to allow you to focus on the idea, as we explained in the last transmission, that the focusing on your year of 2027 is not simply a prediction, but something that allows you to focus on that energy, to focus on that probability, to navigate yourselves in that direction, and to manifest that as the highest probability that will come to pass. So it is something that you are actively involved in, creating to happen. So allow yourselves to focus on the idea of 2027, not just as a prediction, but as something you can be actively involved in focusing on, bringing about, actively manifesting that probability into your reality in an experiential way. Feel the reality of it. Feel it crystallizing around you day by day. You have invited us. We have accepted your invitation. So, let the party begin.
Hey, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Exciting to talk to you.
And you as well.
So it feels unsettling to me to think that even negative expressions like violence, inconsideration, or rudeness are still God knowing itself.
Everything is God knowing itself.
So,
Everything. There are lessons in everything. It's like saying there's a stream and there's a current in the stream, and I can choose to swim upstream against the current. Does that mean the current is still not God? No. The current is part of the river. So you can choose to swim upstream against the current, or you can go with the flow, with the current. Which do you prefer? Can you learn a lesson by going upstream? Yes, you might develop stronger muscles by swimming upstream. And therefore, you will be stronger when you finally let go and flow downstream. So even what appears to be negative can still be something that will aid and assist you by learning a lesson that will help you grow. Yes?
I struggle with that because...
You're struggling because you're swimming upstream.
I guess my question is, what place does integrity, goodness, service to others have in life? Why do we have to choose to do good?
You don't have to choose it. But let me explain it this way. Speaking of the idea of current. As we have explained, there is the positive, there is the negative, but there is the neutral. Reality is a trinity, not a duality. There's always the neutral place in the center. But the neutral place in the center still allows you the freedom to choose what you prefer. So in a sense, euphemistically, you could say that creation is 51% positive and 49% negative. So the idea is that if you simply relax and go with the current, you will ultimately drift into the positive side. But the idea is, if you understand that you may have chosen to come through the negative side to learn the lesson, that you can simply let go and drift into the positive side naturally, then you will have used the negative side in a way that is actually resulting in a positive outcome. So again, the idea is just to look at these things mechanically. It's not a value judgment. We understand that you can express the idea on your planet in violent ways, in ways that aren't necessarily condoning the idea of perpetuating life. We understand that. But again, a soul can sometimes learn in a much more accelerated way by putting themselves in a situation where they are immersed in something that is so dark, so dense, that when they finally let go of that, they will fly that much faster into the light. We call this the rubber band analogy. Because the farther back you pull a rubber band, when you finally let it go, it snaps that much faster in the other direction. And so sometimes souls can use the negative energy, the negative mechanism, to steep themselves in such negativity that when the soul finally says, all right, I have learned all the lessons I can about this being a vibration that is not necessarily in alignment with what I ultimately prefer to be and who I really am, and they finally let go of it, then they will snap that much faster and that much farther into the light, into the flow. So you can use it that way. It's there available to you if you want to do it that way, because Source is everything and all possibilities, and it doesn't judge or devalue anything within itself. It's just a mechanism. It's not a value judgment. Only humans decide this is good or bad. So, remember, you are ultimately eternal and indestructible souls. So, in a sense, it's like looking at a play on a stage and going, oh, there's the hero and there's the villain, and they're playing their parts, and they're in conflict with one another. But when the play is done, they go out and have a beer together because they're actually friends. And they're just playing a role. And without the darkness, you cannot see the light as clearly, because the darkness frames the light.
So if it is all like a role play, kind of good and bad in a sense,
yes,
then there's no incentive to be good in a sense.
There is an incentive, and that is, as I said earlier, to actually allow yourself to feel the ease of creation in going with the flow and the current of the 51% that goes in that direction, so that you can enlighten yourself literally.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, remember in the last transmission you said anybody who wants contact can go to Joshua Tree? In the
Well, we didn't say want.
Oh, what did you say?
We simply said that there was an opportunity to experience more opening, different things. It would help heighten the probability of contact in the future, but to simply go and see what you experience so that we can observe where you're at with regard to the idea of contact.
Okay, got it. Well, I went
Yes.
and I saw what looked like 3 spaceships.
All right.
So I wanted to ask you, like, who were they and what was it?
Who were they and what was it?
Yeah, like who was in those ships? Are you allowed to tell me?
I'm allowed to say that some of it is friends of yours, some of it is people you don't know, and some of it is other versions of yourself.
Other versions of myself. In
Many
another...
of you have counterparts in some of the extraterrestrial civilizations that visit you, so that you will have a degree of vibrational familiarity with them.
Okay.
Like looking into a mirror but seeing a different face.
But then
And
that...
knowing that it's still another version of the oversoul that you are also an extension from.
Got it. But then it's also like maybe another being, like a hybrid being, like
Yes,
version of
in
myself.
general, there were
Okay.
many, many hybrids present at that moment.
Oh, there were. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So it was great. Then the second question is, then after that experience, I had this really vivid dream
Yes.
where I was on a spaceship
Yes.
and they were doing something. I don't know what they were doing.
All right. A memory of an actual encounter.
Can you tell me what that was? Like what they were doing?
Taking a closer look, taking a deeper observation, a measurement of your energy, and again, how close you may be to the vibration that would allow for a higher degree of probability of contact in the future.
Okay.
They wanted to take a more specific reading.
Okay. Is that possible in my lifetime?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, again, it's not so much that things are or are not possible, it's whether they are probable or relevant. And
Is it
there is a high
probable and
degree of
relevant?
probability, yes. Otherwise, again, we probably wouldn't be having these conversations.
Right. Right. Okay.
You can use us to some degree as a marker that those that find us have a great deal of connection to the idea of the hybrids and the idea of experiencing contact. It doesn't mean it's all guaranteed, but it means that your willingness to participate in the beginnings of contact, which is what these exchanges are, heightens the probability of actual physical contact in the future. So generally speaking, those that are present in these exchanges and listening in to these exchanges, those that are connected vibrationally and feel a familiarity with us and the way we share information with you, are probably on a similar wavelength, close enough to continue to expand your energy toward the idea of open contact. Otherwise, again, it is not as likely that you would be participating with us in these exchanges. Now, again, it doesn't mean you can't change your mind. It doesn't mean you can't succumb to negative and fear-based belief systems that would take you farther away from the idea of the probability of contact. But in general, if you just let go and go along for the ride and follow the formula, and as we recently said, stay in the eye of the storm, it is increasing the probability of contact with us or beings like us in the relatively near future.
Okay. That makes sense.
I know, that's why I said it.
Okay, then the last thing is, you know how you were talking about neutral preference and like
Yes.
choosing things that are vibrational alignment.
Yes, vibrationally compatible with who you prefer to be.
So then I guess what's the balance between, you know, when you meet people that
Yes.
may not occur, like they are vibrational balance?
Are you saying that they're vibrationally incompatible? or
Yeah,
compatible.
I experienced that, and then I wonder, am I just being biased?
First step, remember. First step always. Honest self-examination. Am I dampening my excitement? Am I biasing the energy with my belief systems?
Right.
Always do that examination first. Then when you are clear that you may not be biasing it, then you know that what you're sensing really is not your preference vibrationally. Again, this is what we're talking about when we say it's important to have clear discernment. But you have to start with yourself in that discernment. Am I coloring this? Could it be something that could serve me? Could it be something that could be made more vibrationally compatible if I change my belief system about what I'm experiencing here? But if you come right down to the core, the essence of the situation, the circumstance, and the belief systems that are active within you at that moment and determine, no, I'm pretty clear that this is vibrationally incompatible with what I prefer, then it's easy to make the decision as to not engage.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
But it starts with you. You have to be clear within yourself about what you're doing.
I get that. I think the only thing that I get a little confused about is how, you know how I was watching a video and you were sharing how like everybody that we interact with, we're only seeing our version of them.
Yes.
So then ultimately if I'm creating how they're showing up or I'm seeing my version of them,
Yes.
then, and if they're showing up in my life,
Yes.
then
But for what reason?
for what reason is for me to discover.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as you clarify yourself, you'll understand why you attracted yourself into that circumstance with that person. Whether or not it's for the circumstance of gaining more discernment, more clarity within yourself, and recognizing you don't need to continue to create your version of them anymore, or you do.
Okay.
Yes?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was sitting here in the audience last night. I got a memory and thought about since 1990, around 1998.
Yes.
And it had to do with when you were, I participated with you, when you did an event in Thousand Oaks, when you had the money abundance seminar for us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay? And you had everybody bring a coin.
Yes.
All right. And then my participation was I made up flyers and I called everybody to get them there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And then the next day, this man called me.
Yes.
And he said that, well, I had the monatomic stones and everything at the time.
Yes.
All right. And I'd made jewelry out of it and the whole thing.
Yes, yes.
All right. So he called me and said that he was sort of told that he needed to come and buy some of my stones.
Yes.
So he came over to my house and he picked out a lot of stuff and he said, but he wanted so much more. And he said, I just have $300 with me in cash and I want to go home and get more and bring back.
Yes.
Oh, I'm shaking again. Whoa.
And so?
And so he lived about an hour away. Anyway, he came back.
Yes.
And then he bought $1,200 worth of stuff.
All right.
And at the end of the conversation, he said his name was Sananda.
Yes.
And he said at the end of the conversation, he said, I'm an ET. And I said, okay. And I said, we should, let's talk about that. And he said, he was leaving and we would talk about it another time.
Yes.
Okay. So what was he an ET? I mean, what was that about?
Not in the way he meant it, no. Not in the way you thought he meant it, no. He has a realization of his connections to extraterrestrial energies and was expressing some of that to you.
Okay, I had felt that because we had that money about abundance and everything, and I had done the work, I felt that was sort of, at the time, like you had sent them almost for my abundancy.
I didn't send him. You attracted that so you could have a representation and a reflection that at that moment you were working in a state of being that was more conducive and more aligned with your true self and your connections to extraterrestrial sources as well.
Okay, so now why would that pop into my mind when I was sitting here last night?
Gosh, I don't know. Maybe because you're in the presence of an extraterrestrial?
Well, yeah. But I would just thought maybe there'd be more of a connection than he thought, his own connections as to what that was for me other than, so it was the abundance part.
Yes.
Okay.
And also the alignment part and the ability, when you are aligned that way, to experience and attract more things that will reflect that and remind you of that so that you use them as markers to know that you're in the proper state at that moment when that happens.
Okay. And I also felt that I got information for you about a download, that you would be downloading me with some information.
And we have from time to time done that.
Okay, that was last night. I got a telepathic communication with you. Okay. And I thought maybe that was about the grays. The gray.
Some of it was connected to that, but it goes beyond that.
Okay, so.
But we're certainly not going to talk about it in public.
No, I know we can't talk about it in public.
All right.
But that was the message to me, that you would download me with some information.
Yes,
about
we
it.
did.
Okay, very good. The other thing I wanted to, about the higher self.
Yes.
I've been talking to my higher self for 30 years.
Yes.
His name is Armandi.
If you say so.
Well, yeah. And so I see Armandi. He's male. And I
Please understand, the higher self is non-physical.
Yeah,
it isn't
I know
one
that.
thing or another, but it will represent itself with a vibration that works for you symbolically. So what you're describing is the representation that the higher mind is giving you to work with. It doesn't mean the higher mind itself is male.
Okay. He just represents himself as male.
Yes, because it's what you will work with more easily.
Okay. And it's non-physical, okay?
Yes.
But are they autonomous unto himself, a higher self?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. They're actually
Every
separate.
form and expression of consciousness is autonomous unto itself.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
There you go.
Love you, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So I was here in February, earlier this year, and one of the things there was something that you mentioned to me during one of the questions and answers I had the opportunity to speak with, and just wanted to quickly touch base on that. As a result of that, I'm in the process of going through some life changes that are very exciting at the moment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, there've been a lot of quitting my job and moving to the Amazon jungle.
Oh, all right. How
with
exciting.
various shamanistic practices. Yeah, very exciting. So thank you very much.
Yes, well, you did it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. One of the things that you quickly talked about near the end of my Q&A was that I had hybrid children.
Yes.
I was wondering if you'd be able to elaborate on that a little bit.
In what direction?
Are there any of them that would like to connect with me at this time? And is there anything that you could give me in relation?
There may be, but it's not going to happen in this particular moment in the way that you're talking about. They're always available to be connected with, and you can do that yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any guidance that you can provide us to how I can connect with them, certain signature frequencies I can...
Well, you understand the formula we've given all of you, yes?
Yep.
Because what happens when you act on your passion? You raise your frequency. What happens when you raise your frequency? You become a better antenna and a better receiver of higher frequency information and communication.
Okay.
That's why we give you the formula, because it contains every answer you need for all the things that you desire to connect to that are relevant for you to experience in your life. We don't leave anything out. It's completely self-contained. Just follow the formula, and everything that needs to unfold, and every appointment you've made, and every agreement you've made, and every communication you need to have from whomever will happen in perfect timing if you simply continue to raise your frequency by following the formula of acting on your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption of the outcome and remaining in a positive state no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. That's it. We can't make it any simpler for you. It's that simple. Just follow the formula. Everything that needs to happen that will fulfill you and serve you will happen in perfect timing.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Just keep moving.
Okay. On that note as well, just with the channeling, that's something I've been working with, and being able to connect with certain frequencies and matching that within my own body. And I've also been using DMT to supplement as well as a way of amplifying that connection, which I found to be a powerful permission slip for me.
All right.
Is there any advice or any guidance that you can give for me, or any alteration that I can make that may...
Well, again, as we have said, there are teachers such as the idea of the DMT and other substances that the earth itself provides as teachers. But at a certain point, you come to realize that what you're learning is to get into that state on your own without the teacher, so that you can graduate and not allow the teacher to become a crutch. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I found. The more I'm able to get into that state, the less I need that sort of teacher. But then it's teaching me to reach certain other levels I'm then able to match as well.
Again, pay attention. It will not always necessarily feel the same as it did before, but you have to know you're in the proper state. And as we have reminded many of you, the trick to this is to remember the physics of it. The physics being, you cannot experience what you're not the vibration of first. So to even remember what it was like to have been in that state means you're in the state. Because if you're not in the state, you wouldn't be able to remember what it was like to be in the state. Mm-hmm. So as soon as you remember, oh yes, I remember what it felt like to be in that state, you're in the state. You have to be in the state to have the memory. Yeah. Make sense?
Does it?
That's the trick. So realize that, and you will simply be in the state automatically anytime you remember what it was like to be in the state.
Awesome.
Yes?
Yep.
Does that help?
It does indeed.
And?
So when I'm having sort of my own DMT ceremonies, I'm connecting with certain frequencies, certain beings, and there's been mention of jesters, machine elves in certain types of circles.
Interesting labels for certain kinds of levels of consciousness that you may encounter, because the DMT has very specific frequency levels, each of which represents a different domain, a different realm, and a different ability and a different level to communicate with different levels of consciousness. Mm-hmm. Very specific layers within the DMT frequencies will connect you to very specific domains with very specific inhabitants.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any way that I can more consciously choose to match certain frequencies that will then allow me to assist me in... Actually, sorry, scratch that question.
Let me see. There's this thing I've heard about called following your passion. Maybe that might help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just came into my thought at the moment. One of the things I did want to ask you is more verbal channeling. So as I'm connected with these energies, I'm finding the energies more forming into my mouth. And
if you wish to verbal channel, one of the easiest ways to do it is to be surrounded by people who are asking questions they really need to know the answer to.
Okay.
Because then they act as a circuit that pulls the information through you into them and grounds it in them. Because if the information is just coming into you for you, it doesn't need to go anywhere, and you don't really need to fully get into that state. But if others are asking a question, then in a sense you can get out of the way and just let it flow through you like electricity grounding into a circuit.
Correct. Okay.
So practice that and you will get better at it.
Right, okay. So at the moment it's more just sort of baby gurgles or something. It's like the energy is trying to...
You can start however you need to start and know that whatever comes through at that moment is appropriate and it is perfectly fine. Don't worry about looking foolish or crazy or sounding like it doesn't make sense. Just keep practicing like anything and you will get better at it.
Okay. Awesome.
Does that help?
It does, yeah. Is there anything else that...
Enjoy your journey to the Amazon.
Awesome.
You will find something there that will also amplify your ability to connect to the hybrid children.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are
Love
welcome.
you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. All right, let us continue the transmission in the following way. Allow yourselves to relax, become very comfortable, let go of the concerns of the day. Adjust your bodies and allow yourselves to focus on the holotope before you, and allow your lights to dim, allow your music to rise, and let go. Let yourselves begin to drift freely, gently, easily. Allow yourselves now to know that you are altering in a way that will allow for more awareness, more consciousness in your manifestation mechanism, manifestation space, the first belief, the collective consciousness and unconsciousness, the consensus reality. And as you become more aware of that first belief that says, this is real, this is real, this is real, that will become more conscious within you. And as it does, you will remember and remember and remember that because you need to say this is real, that means it's not. So you will allow yourselves, as this energy flows within you, fluidly, not only through your neurological net, but through very arteries, veins, cellular structure, all the things that make up the projection of a body in physical reality, and the physical mind with its beliefs and its emotions, its thoughts and behaviors. As you allow all this to sink in, to flow along those arteries, veins, nerves, conduits that carry the vibration of the life force within you, allow yourself to become more aware of that echo. This is real. This is real. This is real. And with every echo, you are reminded, it is not, it is not, it is not. Thus beginning to form the balancing act, the balanced state of being, where you allow yourself to flicker back and forth at whatever rate is appropriate for you, at whatever rate of frequency allows this to work for you. It will happen automatically, just allow it. You don't have to make it, just allow it. As it flickers back and forth, this is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. You begin to achieve that quasi-physical state in your consciousness, where you both know that it is real as an experience, while simultaneously also knowing it is your projection, it is your creation, and thus not real unto itself. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. This is real, it is not. The first belief reflects that this is real, reinforces that this is real, amplifies and magnifies that this is real. The higher mind tells you it is not. It is not. It is not. And thus, as you achieve this balance between the first belief and the higher mind, it allows you to function with more consciousness, more awareness, more intention, in a way that will allow you to begin to experience the fluidity of the physical reality, the malleability, the flexibility. It will flow like the blood flows through your veins, like the life force flows through your cells, like electricity flows through your nerves. It will flow. And your energy field and your physical body will begin to break down the barrier between the two, so that you begin to sense that the physical is energy, and that energy can be solid. And you begin to allow your consciousness in this manifestation space to experience the realm your physicists call the quantum, where you have both particle and wave, energy and matter, Real and not. Real and not. Real and not. The first belief in the higher mind, in an orchestration, in a ballet, back and forth, spinning around each other with a common center of gravity. This is real. It is not. This is real. It is not. This is real. It is not. Allow yourselves to absorb this now through light and sound, in whatever language will work for you and your neurological net, so that your brain, your neurology may be rewired to be a more efficient conduit and conductor of this understanding, of this concept, of this principle, of the first belief. And allow more awareness that every single time the first belief tells you that physical reality is real, you become aware that the fact that it has to tell you that means that it's not. And you achieve the balance point of understanding that you chose this experience at this time to begin to soften the concept of what is real and what is physical and what is not, what is energy, what is particle, what is wave, and what is not. And more you find yourself in this balance point of awareness, this balance point of consciousness. You become the crucible in which you can melt down all your ideas and preconceived notions of physical reality and let it recrystallize in new ways, new arrangements, new reflections, new experiences. But you will experience them with a higher level of consciousness, knowing it is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Let the realities pass through you and by you and around you and over you and under you and through you. For it is real as an experience, but as a thing, it is not. No more substantial than the reflection of light from a mirror. It may take many forms and reflect many things that may seem very solid and very real, but this is simply the first belief. It is real and it is not. It is illusion that gives you an opportunity for a real experience, so you may learn, so you may grow, so you may expand and become more self-aware. For self-awareness is consciousness. Consciousness is self-awareness. For there is no awareness of the self without awareness of the reflection, of the other, that gives rise to the difference between the other and the self. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. You are manifesting yourself constantly, every moment. You are a manifestation of your consciousness. Your physical body is a manifestation of your consciousness, your self-awareness, your identity, your perspective of all that is, as all that is, experiencing itself as a part of all that is. And that is real and it is not. And that is real, and it is not. And that is real, and it is not. Float now freely in the in-between, in the neutral space between the polarities. Allow yourself now the opportunity to integrate the balance of these concepts within you, so that the first belief and the higher mind may work in concert in a dance with their gravitational centers spinning around one another, to give you the opportunity to more consciously recognize the manifestation that you are and the manifestation you can become when you know, when you are aware that physical reality is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Just drink it in, float freely, easily, calmly, effortlessly, beautifully, gracefully, creatively, lovingly, energetically, vibrantly, peacefully. Float freely in the dream. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and blow it out. And that wind is the wind of change, the wind that flows through the manifestation space, that reflects back to the first belief. Allow yourselves to drift in the dream. Allow yourselves to be who you truly are. Continue to just breathe deeply, gently, effortlessly. Let go of that which is not you, of that which weighs you down, of that which creates resistance to your natural self. Let it go. It may seem real, but it is not. It is real as an experience only, but not as a thing unto itself. It is real as long as you believe that it is. And when you realize that, then it is not. As your lights dim and your music softens, continue to float in a gentle void, in a gentle dream. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. It is real and it is not. Welcome home. Our unconditional love to you all and deep appreciation. Sweet dreams. Good day.